hello to everybody. It's been a while that I haven't seen any of you folks. I haven't done a live stream for a while. The first thing is I hope that you all can hear me and you all can listen to me. I'd like to welcome you. My name is Charles Richard, as you can see here. All right, and like I said, I have not streamed for a while because I've been doing a lot of other things, that actually make money for me. I got to pay my bills, and if I've got to pay my bills, I got to do things that are actually going to be financially beneficial for me. As you all know, we are living in an era or a time which things are a little bit crazy with the COVID, and we have a new president now, a new elect president, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on out here, and can't. I'm not really going to get too much into it, but today we got a really interesting show. Like you all know, I always stream live from different coffee shops, and I happen to be in a coffee shop right now, and I'm having a coffee, enjoying myself, and I said to myself, you know what, let me actually do something for you folks, live stream, all right, so that you folks can actually something that might be beneficial for you. Let me see if I'm kind of seeing myself a little bit dark. Let me kind of like give me some more light, because I'm a little bit on the dark side. Let me there we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, I'm using right now, as you guys know, I've always for the live streams I always use my X-T2, my Fujifilm X-T2, which I am using my Fuji X-T2, but I've got another lens on it, okay, and I'm using right now a 16 to 50 millimeter 3.5 to 5.6. It is a zoom lens. It's got optical image stabilization, which is a good thing, and I still have my other lenses. The reason that I chose this lens is because I'm able to zoom in and zoom out, something like, let's see if I can do this here. Okay, so you guys can see, I can zoom in and zoom out. All right, so it's kind of like a bag, with a whole bunch of prime lenses, so rather than just be fixed, I'm able to choose where I put my camera, and if I need to zoom in and adjust it a little bit, that works. It works really good, and that's all I need, what I'm saying, for live streaming, that is, what I'm saying. I don't need to do very much more. It is very sharp, very good. It does the job, so that's what counts, because as long as it does the job, then we're good to go, so anyways, today I want to talk to you about vintage lenses. I want to talk to you about vintage lenses. I'm not going to talk to you too much about all different kinds of lenses, because I think the most misunderstood thing when it comes to videography, cinematography, sometimes even photography. I don't do photography, as you folks know, so I can't talk about photography much, but I'm going to talk to you about videography, and I'm going to talk to you about cinematography. All right, the lens that you use is very much important, and you need to kind of understand what it does. Okay, and the biggest problem that I see in cinematographers or videographers is that they're trying to do something with a kit lens, because in reality they don't really understand how to use lenses. Now I'm not going to get in the technical part. I will at some point in one of my later streams, but I want to kind of present to you a scenario which might save you a whole heck of a lot of money, especially because what you can get is really unique. When I say unique is in all terms of the word, as best as I can say, unique in the most defined way, that it is a look that you're going to receive, right? A look that you're going to get that is going to be one that either you like or you dislike. Now, most people will always have a comment and will always criticize what you are filming or how you look, or how much better you can look, or what it is that you should be doing. But what they fail to realize is that, cinematography as well as videography is an art. What looks good to you, all right, might not look good to someone else. What looks good to you might be because that is the actual feel and look that you're trying to obtain. All right, so if that is the feel and the look that you're trying to obtain, then that is the best, tool to use for that particular look that you're trying to achieve. And a lot of people just don't quite understand that. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sad because you see all these suggestions, all these super quote unquote people that they said they got 40 years experience or 20 years experience or 10 years experience. Experience has to do a lot in certain areas, but it doesn't have to look, it doesn't really influence the creative part of you. All right, so you need to become creative, and you need to learn to capture the feel and the look that is what you want to present. And that is something that is very much unprecedented, all right, if I can say that, and it's very much misunderstood. All right, so with that said, hi Ken Frail is watching. Hello, how are you? A lot of the things that I've been shooting at right now has been at Universal Studios. Excuse me, because I've been covering a lot of the things that are happening here at the parks, and I actually, am 4 to 5 days out of the week at Universal Studios, and I got a lot of stuff that I'm actually going to bring in live, into these live streams. But I've been gathering a lot of information, a lot of what we call B-roll, because it is a process to be able to present a show that is worthwhile looking for. Nobody wants to just see me talk here. All right, people want to see, things that are going on, videos, news. You know what I'm saying? A person that just sits in front of a camera, talk is very boring. So I'm not going to keep talking to you folks. All right, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to get to the point of this here. Hello, Haraldina Sousa, how are you? Okay, nice to see you here. And I'm glad that you guys are coming to see me today. All right, because I do want to present a lot of these things. You don't have to have a $2,000 camera to go out and shoot very nice. All right, this particular video, I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit, with the lenses that I used, okay, for vintage, for those of you that don't have a big budget, right? And I'm also going to show you a lot of things that are going on in Universal Studios as well. So if you're here for Universal Studios, all right, and to find out what's going on in Universal Studios, definitely, just hang on, what I'm saying, because I got some great stuff for you folks, And if you're here because you want to learn also about the different tools that I use to be able to capture all these beautiful pictures, then you're here for a good thing as well. All right, so anyways, let's get to it. Okay, first of all, okay, like I said, my name is Charles Richard. If you want to see more videos or want to keep dated, and up to date, and you want to know when I actually come live, I ask, sorry about that. Okay, I don't want to do that. All right, I don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just want to say for you folks to subscribe. Okay. So for some reason that was not supposed to happen. Anyways, well, it is what it is. Okay. So anyways, subscribe, follow. You know what I'm saying? And you know how the whole thing works. All right. So anyways, today I'm going to talk to you about vintage lenses. A camera is only as good as the lens that you have in front of you. Now, lenses, and I see this all the time, and it's crazy because people kind of like always, the mentality, all right now in 2020, is that, oh, you gotta get that brand new lens. You gotta get that new lens because it's so sharp, because it's so clear. You know, that's all good and fine, all right. But a lens that looks sterile, okay, that is super sterile, is not always good. Okay, it's not always good. Okay, for me, I'd rather have a lens, and I will pay more for a lens that has character than for a lens that is sterile. Let me explain to you. All right, a super sterile lens, okay, makes everything look boring. Okay, sometimes I'll see, streams, of actual, YouTube streams or Facebook streams of stuff that looks like so sterile, that it has no, there's no interest. There's really, little interest. I don't want to see, your pimple on your face, or your I don't know, your freckle on your face, or that you scrape your face. I don't want to see the perfection, okay, of what your face looks like, or the perfection of what your room looks like. There's, you still have to have some sort of a mystique, and sometimes being super sterile, super clear, doesn't focus on the character that's in the center of everything, because everything else is super sterile. You know what I'm saying? You can use your bokeh, and all that kind of crap, what I'm saying, that people say, but it doesn't produce a character. It has no characters. It has no feel to it. It has no, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like, okay, let me kind of explain it to you so you can kind of, get what I'm understanding, or where I'm coming from, actually. All right, if I am filming something that is futuristic, all right, that is supposed to be sci-fi. I don't, your sci-fi, your futuristic. Hello, Vinay, how are you? Your futuristic look, your sci-fi stuff needs to be, very cold looking. So you're gonna see a lot of bluish tints in it. You're gonna see, that's what you're gonna actually draw. All right. If I am doing something romantic, you want to have more the skin tones, more the darker look. If I want to film something like Harry Potter, all right. If I want to film Harry Potter, I'm not gonna get my camera to look bluish. I'm gonna get my camera to have more the brown tones, more the deeper reddish tones. A much darker look. You know what I'm saying? So I want to have that camera be able to do this. And sometimes, when you buy a new lens, you pay, an astronomical amount of money, all right, and the lens can't do that. So you end up buying add-ons, okay, like filters, to be able to obtain something that you can very easily get in an older lens, because that older lens, has those characteristics of the lens. So with that said, first of all, let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about vintage lenses. When you look at vintage lenses, I'm filming on my X-T2 camera, so I can't show you the lens on the camera, but I can show you the lens, all right? Because I have the lens here, all right? One of them, okay? This is one lens, and I have the adapter here as well, all right? So on all these cameras that you have, all right, these older lenses, all right, just because you have, I don't know, a Sony camera, doesn't mean that you cannot mount a Canon lens on it. Okay, you can mount a Canon lens as long as you have the right adapter for it. All right, so what happens with the adapter? The adapter is kind of like the bond, okay, between your lens and your camera. So, which means that the side of where the adapter meets the camera, is designed for your camera. All right, this particular adapter, which you can see right here. Okay, let me see if I can put it there. Okay, right there. So where is it? There it is. Okay, all right. This particular adapter. Oops. Let me kind of do this, all right, so you can see better. There we go. Okay. All right. This particular adapter that you see right here. Okay, you can see there. Okay, can you see it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. I might have a little bit of trouble trying to focus, okay, because it's a little bit on the dark side. Okay, there we go. Okay, this particular adapter that you see right here, okay, you see it right there, all right, that adapter, okay, is actually for the Fuji. Okay, it is for a Canon older lens to a Fuji lens. Now, personally, okay, the lenses that I like to use because it is the look that I'm looking for. It is the character that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for sterile lenses. I'm not looking for L lenses or $2,000 lenses, which I don't mind paying $2,000 for a lens if it is the look that it's going to give me. But if it's not the look that it's going to give me, then I'm not going to pay, $2,000 for a lens, because that's not what I'm looking for. This is an older lens, okay? This is a Canon FD lens, and with the Canon FD lenses, you have three different flavors of lenses. You have the early flavor of the FD lenses, okay, which has pretty much, you'll see like a silver ring around it, which is your locking mechanism. All right, they all have a locking mechanism, but this is how you can tell which is the first one and which is the second one. Okay, then you have the FD lenses, then you have the NFD lenses. The NFD lenses means it is a new FD lens. All right, this is an NFD lens. The difference on those FD and the NFD lenses are they're identical, all right, in the sense that they have a coating on the glass, all right, which that coating on the glass actually helps with, things like flares and aberration, and all other issues that happen when you use glass, and light is transmitted, through that glass. I'm not going to get very technical on it because, I'm not trying to do a technical review here. I'm just trying to show you what it can do. All right, so this lens is a lens that was made, in the 80s and 90s. Okay, this is an NFD, and the way you can tell is because it has this thing right here, okay, which is kind of like a little sign. Okay, it's kind of like a locking mechanism, which is where you put the adapter. All right, and what you do is you put your adapter, on this particular situation. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch my adapter to lock. All right, and then you match your red, your little red dot to your little red dot on your particular adapter. All right, and you see the red dot right there. Okay, and you match the red dot that you see right there. Okay, so you match them and you give it a twist. Okay, and there we go. All right, and now you have a lens that you can use on, in this particular one I can use on my camera, which is a Fuji camera. All right, and now what makes it nice is on these FD lenses, you need to, on the adapter, you have a lock. You can see right there. Let me see if I can kind of twist it there. Okay, you can see a lock and you see an open on this side. Okay, so you want to switch it to open, because when you switch it to open, now you can actually use your aperture ring, because it has an aperture ring, okay, which you can see right there. Okay, so you can use your aperture ring. Let me see if I can show you here. Yeah, I just need to grab it right. Okay, and wait a minute, let me grab it right. Okay, I'm gonna grab it right. Okay, all right, so it's on the open position. So when you have it on the open position, okay, you can see that your aperture ring, okay, you see how it closes and how it opens. Okay, so you have your manual aperture that you're going to be able to use for your shooting. All right, so all right, with that said, let me show you, okay, the quality of what I'm talking about. All right, so let's take a look at some photos. All right, and then we're going to start talking about Universal, because these photos were actually taken at Universal Studios. All right, so let's go to the photos here and let's see what we got. This is what we got. This is Universal Studios. Okay, this photo was taken with this particular lens that you see right here. Okay, this particular lens is a 135 millimeter. Right, it's an FD lens. It's a 2.8, and look at the colors that this photo has. All right, now those colors, the richness of those colors is a combination of the color science of the Fujifilm. Right. By the way, none of these photos were actually edited. These are actual photos straight out of the camera. All right. These are JPEG photos. Okay. With the exception of the last photo. I believe it's the last photo, all right, which I used the raw image, all right, and I'll show you why, all right. This came right straight out of the camera, all right. This is using the Canon FD lens. Look at the colors on it. Look at the blues. Look at the greens. Look at the color of the brick. Okay, the brightness. Okay, these colors that you see here, okay, are colors that you cannot find in, and you might be able to, all right, but when you use a newer lens, right, it doesn't have that feel. Okay, it just doesn't look as vintage as, you know. There's something about the look between an actual picture, okay, that is shot, okay, with a lens like this, than something that is shot with a brand new lens. All right, here, let's take a look at some of these other photos, and then you make the decision. You make your own decision if this is something that will work for you. Okay, and then I'll tell you about how much these lenses cost and how to go about getting them. All right, so so we go over here. Okay, here's another photo. All right, this is one of the taxi boats at Universal Studios, and you can see the richness of the browns, the richness of the the greens, and everything that you see there. This is with the 135 millimeter lens. The 135 millimeter lens, all right, although it's considered a telephoto lens because it is a telephoto distance, and when you have it on something like the Fujifilm EX-T2, you got to multiply it by a 1.5 crop factor to give you what it would be the equivalent on a full frame. This particular lens is, if you multiply it by 1.5, I believe it's like, I want to say it's like 205, I think. It's like a 200 millimeter lens. It's something like that. You guys can do the math. And but that's what it is. Okay, and it's wonderful. Okay, the colors on it is just rich, and it's just like it's a pleasing color. All right, it's got its character to it. All right, it gives this boat, okay, this particular taxi vessel that you see out here, all right, it gives it that old look that this boat is supposed to have, all right, where if I use a newer lens, it will just look, so sterile that it won't even look like it's an old boat. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so there are certain lenses that you want to use for certain, scenarios, and then depending on your style of shooting, whether it's videography or cinematography, then you get to choose the lenses that you want to use. For my particular use, I got all the lenses for Fuji, just about everything, but my favorite lenses are the Canon FDs because there's something that there's a sort of a chemistry that happens when you put a Fujifilm X-T2, not even an X-T3 and not even an X-T4, an X-T2, because it has a different sensor, and you use a Canon FD or Canon NFD lens, or even an FD lens, it doesn't matter, all right, but there's a huge difference, all right, when you use this combination, because this combination gives you pictures like this. All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, here we go. This is the Chocolate Factory. Now, take a look at this. Okay, the Chocolate Factory. You can see the grays. You can see the sky's blues. You can see the clarity, and it's just very pleasing. Okay, it's a wonderful looking picture. All right, it's shot with this particular lens. All the pictures that I'm going to show you right now are with this particular lens. All right, I do have a 50 millimeter 1.2. I have a 1.4 50 millimeter as well. I have a 28. So I've been building my lenses, all right, because of the character, based on the character, all right, that I want to use them for. All right, so let's take a look at another picture, okay, and we'll kind of quickly go through them because I don't want to keep you here all day. Okay, here's another one. This is beautiful. Okay, this particular this particular one here, let me kind of see if I can move myself to the other side. Whoa, here we go. Let me go this way over here. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me go on that side for a second. Okay. Because I want to show you. Okay. See the the dynamic range that it has. Okay. Because my focusing point, okay, on this particular photo was actually what says in the back. It says Fu. Okay, that in the back was my actual focal point. Okay, and you can see that in front, okay, you have this blonde girl that's walking towards me, that she is out of focus. So it gives me that depth of field. Okay, that depth of field, which is it's awesome. I love it. I really like it. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at another one. Excuse me. All right, here. Okay, what I was using here again is, you see the center, a girl. Okay, let me move myself again to the other side. There we go. Well, okay, let me move myself there. There we go. Okay, get myself out of the picture. Okay, this that you see right here, okay, is my focusing point was the girl in the middle. All right, so you can see the depth of field going from what is behind her. All right, being out of focus. It's kind of like a bokeh, if you want to call it. All right, and you see what is in front of her also out of focus is also called a bokeh. All right, so you can see the range. Okay, the depth of field that you have here is just tremendous. The colors, the look, is pleasing. Is something that creates an ambient that your eyes know that, okay, that stuff is out of focus. Oh, wait a minute, I see the middle girl, she's in focus. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm focusing on. So that's where it's supposed to look like. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. The popular one that I posted as my new profile picture. Here's the plane. And this one here is in City Walk, right in front of Margaritaville. All right, and the colors on it is just awesome, and it's just great. Now the 135, all right, because when you multiply it by a 1.5, comes out again to like 200 millimeter equivalent. It's a great lens for portrait photography. All right, it's really a good lens if you're gonna do portrait photography or any kind of portrait cinematography. All right, so if I was going to do a close-up on, let's say, somebody speaking or somebody talking, let me show you the next photo, and this will kind of like wrap it, for you folks, and I think this will give you the better idea of when I say but a lens that has character. Okay, here we go. See this guy here? Okay, this guy, all right, an older guy, all right, look at the clarity and look at the bokeh behind it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, character. All right, you can't achieve that sort of character with those pleasing, colors, that richness, that gives it. It looks like an antique, like it was filmed, maybe in the 70s or even in the 60s because of the coloring in it. You can't achieve that look, all right, with a newer lens without putting add-ons, okay, or doing post-production work. This here is something that I can just put the lens on, all right, and let me go to the lens. I can just put the lens on into my camera, shoot it and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? It needs little work with post-production and needs little work for everything else. It works, guys. It really works. Now, let's talk about pricing. Let's talk about, availability. Let's talk about all these things. This lens, you can get it on eBay. You can find these lenses, anywhere between $60 to about $130, depending on the condition of the lens. This one here is in practically brand new condition. When I'm talking about brand new condition and mint condition, I seriously mean it. Right? It doesn't have no scratches. It doesn't have no blemishes. Okay, it doesn't have no fungus in it. It doesn't have no dust particles in it. On top of that, the fact that I bought the lens, okay, I took it to be serviced because I want to make sure that it's perfectly lubricated. This particular lens comes with its built-in hood. Watch this. That's a built-in hood. You don't see that with very many lenses. Okay, so it's got all of that. All right, and it's very small. It really is. Without the adapter. Let me take the adapter out. Okay. Okay, we took the adapter out. Look how small it is. All right, for a 135 millimeter lens to be this size and this light, it is solid, made out of metal. It is, you can see the glass. Okay, it's not like one of these little small glasses that you see on those modern lenses that is just like hardly has any glass. Everything else around it is plastic. You know, no, look at that glass. All right, the quality of the glass, everything on the glass, you know, is gorgeous. Okay, seriously and honestly, it is a gorgeous lens. I'm trying to get my aperture here to release. Okay, here we go. It's not releasing. I gotta release it. Okay. Now I want to do this really quick. Okay. So, anyways, okay, this lens, you know, without no doubt, you can find this lens on eBay. All right. If you look at it on eBay, right, you can find this lens anywhere between $60-$70, you know what I'm saying, all the way to well, it's just about here. Let me put it on auto. Okay, take it out. You can find this lens very inexpensively, seriously, very inexpensively. All right, and that's what makes this lens really so nice and affordable. All right, to be able to get you a look that, you know, if you can't afford, you know, $1,000-$2,000 you know, in a lens, you know, this might be a really good solution for you. All right, it comes with the front cap, back cap, you know, very nice lens, you know, and they're not really hard to find. You just gotta be patient with them, and you gotta, you know, kind of make sure that you get a lens that has got, you know, some quality. But anyways, you know, these pictures that you saw right here, you know, I mean, they actually speak for themselves, right? They actually seriously speak for themselves. And let me show you a quick video that I did, all right, with this new lens that I have, which is kind of like the 16 to 50 millimeter. And what you're gonna see here is you're gonna notice the quality, all right, is this is more of a newer lens, so you're gonna have a more sterile look. All right, and well, let me show you the video, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about this. Okay, here's the video. Okay, we're looking at a very perfect example. I did a very quick recording, and what you're seeing here is actually the Fujifilm X-T2 with a XC 16mm to 50mm f3.5 to 5.6. Now, I kind of, you know, recorded this here at the Universal Studios Dr. Seuss track, and I do have to mention a couple of things. The first thing that I want to say is that Dr. Seuss track is a very old ride, and so therefore you're gonna see a little bit of, you know, kind of like a jitter, you know, and shake, but it's not the lens and it's not the optical image stabilization. What it is actually the track has sections of the track which actually, you know, gives a very quick jolt, you know, and that's why you see the hello, folks. Hello, hello, hello. Kind of like on a little bit on the dark side. Let me see if I can get some a little bit more light up here. Okay, because it's a little bit too dark for me. All right, let's put some. Oops, the other way. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so let's go this way. All right, and there we go. All right. Okay. So it looks a little bit better. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is why it's good to have a lens like this one. Okay. And I'm going to tell you all the great things. Well, hello to everybody. My name is Charles Richard, and I am live. I was live a couple of minutes ago. All right, and for some reason, okay, the internet, kind of like went berserk, and I kind of like it kind of lost me. So, anyways, I'm gonna redo this whole thing for you folks. I am actually at a coffee shop. Okay, which this is usually where I come to do these live streams, and we're gonna talk about vintage lenses. We're gonna talk about Universal Studios. We're gonna talk about Islands of Adventure. We're gonna just talk about what's going on out here, and we're gonna actually, there's a couple of things that I really need to mention to you folks, because with the scenario and the situation that's going on right now here in the U.S., especially with the COVID-19, we're increasing in numbers, and now that we have a new elected president, Biden, some of these parks might be closing. All right, so I kind of like want to throw that out there for you folks, because Biden is not Trump, and I'm not going to get into too much of the ins and outs about this. You guys have heard it on the news. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm just not going to get into all that crap about what he's going to do and what he's not going to do, because it's just not productive, So let me go over here. All right, again, my name is Charles Richard, and I'm going to talk to you about vintage lenses. And the reason why I want to talk to you about vintage lenses, all right, is because there's so much hype, right, and talk and all these medias, YouTube channel, all this stuff, when people, like you, me, everybody, we start looking for what would be the best equipment to buy for our use, we sometimes listen to all these so-called quote-unquote intellects, that really in a certain area they know what they're saying, but they really don't know what they're doing. All right, and I'm sorry that I have to put it to you that way, because the way that I feel about this is not only my opinion, all right, it is the opinion of anybody that has a name in the industry. I'm not a photographer, all right. I do cinematography and I do videography, all right. I'm not a web streamer, all right. I don't do YouTube, quote unquote, although this is going to be going up on YouTube and on Facebook, but once in a while I'll throw something out there to better help you understand some of the things that are happening, and this way you can make a better decision as to how you want to spend your money to be able to achieve the look that you need or that you want to try to achieve. First of all, the most important thing, okay, that you all need to understand, all right, is don't do listen up to a certain extent what people are saying in YouTube as far as is a lens or a camera good or is it not good, that sort of stuff. But as a whole, all right, remember, photography, videography, cinematography is a form of art, okay? And you are the artist, okay? What looks good in your eyes might not look good for somebody else, and therefore if you ask the opinion of that person might say, oh no, absolutely not, oh no, you're using the wrong lens, oh no, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. No, what they're trying to tell you is you should be doing those things to achieve the look that they like, all right, but the look that they like is not really the look that you're trying to achieve as an artist, because you are the artist, and you and only you, nobody else, can say, well, this is what I like as a look, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And you need to develop that as a content creator, all right, and sometimes these content creators don't understand that, all right, and they look at certain things, and you can see it, in the way that they present themselves and how the videos look. Some videos look super sterile, all right, they look like like, oh my god, you can see a pimple on their face, you can see a little cut on their face, you can see how many freckles the person has. I'm sorry, that's not particularly my kind of look. Now, I do respect, if there are content creators out there that are looking for that look. All right, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the look that I'm looking for. All right, so within this, okay, you have, and we're talking about lenses. Okay, you have lenses that have, a kind of like a sterile look. That they're super clear, super sharp, and they create a super sterile look. They create a boring look for me. All right, as a cinematographer, for myself, I look for lenses that have character. Now, there's goods and bads to both sides of the coin. All right, we have what we call in the industry, especially in the YouTubers, we have what we call ridiculous. I call them ridiculous pixel peepers. All right, ridiculous pixel peepers never get anywhere. All right, and you can see that those pixel peepers are not getting anywhere because they don't have YouTube followers. Okay, they don't have their numbers are so low, because they're so worried about how good they look that they forget that the story is more important than that how good they look. I have guys that are shooting stuff on YouTube with their iPhones, their cell phones, and they have over 100,000 viewers. Over 100,000 viewers. Now, why is it that a person that has and shooting videos with a cell phone can achieve 100,000 viewers, and you that have a $5,000 or $6,000 setup cannot even achieve to have 200 viewers? Why? Why is it? Because the content that you are creating is not interesting. All right, it's not interesting to people. It's interesting to very few. All right, and if your content is not interesting, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you have $6,000, $7,000, or $100,000 worth of equipment, content creation, storytelling comes before, always comes before. All right, the equipment that you have. And so with that said, then you have on the other side of the coin, you have, the look that you're trying to achieve. And I'm not talking to anybody in particular, so please don't misunderstand me. All right, I'm just talking to those of you that are trying to become creators. I am not trying to become a creator. That's why I have 0. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I have 20 followers, maybe 80. I have no idea how many followers I have, and I don't care. Okay, because I don't make a living off of YouTube nor off of Facebook. All right, I make a 7-figure number. All right, doing other stuff. So for me, YouTube is just like a hobby. I'll put a video once in a while. If people see it, great. If it can help somebody, that's great. Okay, that's my model. But with that said, okay, I want to hello Alice. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. So with that said, I want to bring to you, okay, something in the content that it will help you. All right, so vintage lenses are inexpensive lenses, are lenses that are made 20, 40, 50 years ago, and a lot of these vintage lenses will give you a much better look and a much better feel for your videos, okay, that you're shooting. All right, so here I'm going to talk to you about this particular vintage lens. I choose this particular series of vintage lenses because I don't like Canon. Okay, I'm going to be straight up with you. I hate Canon. Okay, because of the way the company acts, not because of their products. Okay, but because of the way the company acts towards people like you that spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and instead of giving you stuff that will fix their products, they pretty much, their ideology is, oh well, okay, we'll fix it in the next camera that we give you. All right, so if you spend $4,000, like for example on the R5, they'll fix a little bit here and there excuse me, until they come up with the I don't know, the Canon R5S or Canon R5 Mark II, and then they'll take another, $4,000 away from your pocket. You know, I don't like that. All right, I don't like that. Okay, those are companies that are, in my opinion, okay, those are companies that are ripoffs. Okay, and this is why I will tend to stay with certain cameras. All right, and certain companies. This is why I like Fujifilm's concept, the Japanese concept. All right, the Japanese ideology is totally different than that of the American and everybody else. Their ideology, and this is why Olympus was also very good for it, or very well known for it, is if you buy a product from me, we are going to keep updating it. We're going to keep bringing you firmware to bring you up to date. Okay, the only time we won't be able to do something for you is if your camera is limited by hardware. All right, not because we can't do it and give it to you in a firmware. All right, and when you have that sort of a ideology in the company, for me it stands and it deserves my money. All right, so with that said, I'm not going to get too much into that, but there are certain things that Canon does do, that have done, that have been very well known, okay, and that are really nice. And one of them is this series of lenses. This is a vintage lens, okay. This lens here, okay, happens to be, let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Okay, this lens here, okay, happens to be a 135 millimeter Canon FD 2.8. Okay, you can see if I can see it, if you can focus it there. There we go. All right, and it's a 2.8 lens. The colors on it are incredible. Okay, the colors that you get from here, I'm sorry about the noise. Okay, I'm putting the lens cap in it. The colors that you get on it is just wonderful. It has a character. It has a character you can't get anywhere else. And this character deserves a lot. This character deserves a lot. Okay, when it comes to be able to choose your lens. Okay, let me show you what this lens, before I even talk a little bit more about it. Let me show you what this lens can actually do. All right, and let me see if I can go up here. Let me see, photos. Okay, here we go. All right, let me go to the photos. Okay, take a look at this guy. Okay, this shot was this shot that I got here was actually taken with this lens. Okay, it's 135 millimeter. Okay, and look at the look on this guy. It's a portrait. You can do portraits easily with this lens. All right, but the clarity. All right, none of these pictures were in no way, shape, or form were done or had any post work done to them. These came straight out of the camera. But when you put the Fujifilm camera, the X-T2, which has a 24 sensor, which I like a lot more than that of the new trans sensor that the X-T3 and the X-T4 has, and the reason that I like it more is because when you combine the Canon FD lenses with the XT sensor, the X-T2 sensor, all right, you get this quality of picture, you get this quality of video, you get this look. This look is not a perfect look, but it's a look that is so rich. The skin tones are, where they're supposed to be. The bokeh is nice and smooth. Remember, this is only a 2.8 lens. Okay, this is only a 2.8 lens. Now, in all honesty, truth, I was about, when I took this shot, I was about, I don't know, maybe 15 feet away from him. Okay, when I took the shot. Okay, so it's perfect for street shooting because you don't have to be right up on the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's wonderful. It really is. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Okay, here we have a very famous site at Universal Studios in City Walk. Okay, we all know this is the plane that's right in front of Margarita, and if you look at the colors are just wonderful. The colors are very bright, very lively, very rich. No post-production done to it, no cropping, no nothing done to it. All right, it is a straight out photo from the XT2 using the Canon FD 135 2.8 lens, and you get this beautiful shot. Now take a look at this one. Okay, here, okay, I focused right in the center. Okay, the girl walking in the center. Now look at the depth of field that this lens has. The depth of field is incredible. For those of you that don't know what depth of field is, okay, depth of field is what is in focus, behind the character that's in focus and in front of the character that's in focus. Take a look. Okay, you've got people that are closer to me, okay, that are out of focus, and then she is in focus in the middle, and then you have everything behind her that's also out of focus. Beautiful depth of field, wonderful depth of field, and the colors are rich and they're good. Okay, you got this one here, where my focus point was the building in the back, and it's the colors are rich. I mean, they're super rich. They're wonderful. They have that a vintagey look to it. They're not surgical lenses that are super clear and super clean. All right, it is a lens that has a wonderful character. Okay, and this character is something that when you become the artist, you become to look for the look that you like, okay, that is going to identify you, that's going to make you different from everybody else. All right, that is what once you get these characters, okay, this is going to actually create, okay, the difference from you guys. And I'm sorry that I actually, oh my goodness, it's just crazy out here, but let me kind of like do this. All right, okay, and there we go. All right, you see the girl in front of you, she's out of focus. All right, and take a look at this really quick. Okay, this one here is the Chocolate Factory. Take a look at this for a second, okay, and I need to change my battery because my battery is dead on my camera. Okay, so let me put the other battery. All right, so give me 1 second. Okay, and so meanwhile we get all this up and going. All right, take a look at this. Okay, now I'll just keep talking to you folks. All right, so you can see these pictures as we can best describe them. Okay, and let's see what we got here. Let me put this battery in here really quick. I think we got it. All right, and let me see if I can get it. Oops. I kind of screwed that up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I am back, and let's see if I can bring this photos. Let's go to the next photo. Okay, and let's take a look at this one. All right, this one here is a boat. You see the antique, okay, the antiqueness of it. Okay, the antiqueness of it is incredible. All right, let me put this one here. Okay, and let's go over there and there. All right, let's see. It's not coming up. All right, so you see that there. All right, let me see what else we can show you. The character, okay, of this lens gives this boat, okay, a very unique feel for it. Okay, very, very unique. Let me come back over here for a second. All right, okay, it gives you a very unique feel because I don't know how else to explain it to you. I don't know how else to put it to you, okay, but it has this very unique feel because it makes the boat look like it's old. All right, if you use a surgical lens, it's not going to give that woodsy old 70-ish look, which is what this particular boat is supposed to look like. Here. All right, take a look. All right, so by using the proper lens, okay, your proper choice of lens, all right, also gives you the feel of what it is that you're trying to achieve. Right, and take a look at this one. Okay, this is the famous, universal, okay, globe, okay, that we see, every single time that we go out there. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Okay, you can see the blues, the richness of the blues. You can see the richness of the sky. You can see the concrete. Okay, the greenery. It brings a pop effect, you know. It brings a 3D effect. It brings, you know, life into the picture. It has its character. You cannot achieve that if your lens is a surgical or too clear or too perfect of a lens. All right, when you have a lens like that, you know, it's really, you know, not interesting. Okay, it's not pleasing. All right, it's at least to me it's not, you know what I'm saying. And it doesn't bring a feel, okay, of, or in other words, it doesn't bring a vibe, okay, into the mix, okay, of what you're trying to film, all right, or you're trying to capture. You know, with that said, you know, this, okay, is what you should be looking at. Now, this particular lens is not an expensive lens, all right. This lens, I mean, you can find it on eBay, okay. This lens that you see here, you can find it on eBay, probably for around, you know, some people say you can find it for $30, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If you want to buy a lens like this for $30, you most likely are going to have it serviced, okay, and by the time you service it, you're going to spend an extra $100, so you're going to end up spending like $100 and some odd dollars, you know, for the lens. Now, this particular lens, you know, I bought for $100, okay. Now, I paid the $100, okay, and then I paid an extra $60, okay, not because it needed it, but because I take it to a guy that does camera work and lens work, and what he does is he actually lubricates it, so now my rings are super smooth, you know, and everything works just wonderfully smooth, you know, because I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not going to have an issue and I'm not going to have a problem with the lens, you know. So I'll spend the extra $60, all right, to have it serviced, okay, to have my lens serviced, so I can actually use it and get the kind of quality pictures that you saw right there on that particular place, you know. So what do you got here, boys? Oh, boys, hello, how are you, boys? All right, nice to see you, boys, you know. Thank you for you know, coming up here. All right, so anyways, the lens is definitely worth it, okay. The FD lenses are something that if you can't afford $200, $300, you know, $1,000 lenses, you know, there's an option. Now, the disadvantage is that these are manual lenses, okay, but manual lenses are not really that hard, not if you have a Fuji system. And the other disadvantage is that you need an adapter, but these adapters, I use the K&F, okay, K&F concept. Now, the K&F concept is an adapter, okay, that, you know, for Fujifilm cameras, you know, it's really, really well made. It's very, very nicely made. I won't recommend an adapter that I don't think is a quality made adapter. The only issue with this adapter that I find is that most of the time that I order any of these adapters, the company is in China to begin with, and so it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for me to every time I order an adapter. But I'd rather wait 2 or 3 weeks and get something as good as this than get just any old adapter that, you know, is just not going to give me that quality of an adapter. So with that said, I chose this adapter because it's really good. It seriously is really good. I like it. It might not be the best one out there, but for the price, okay, it's only like $20, guys. This adapter is only like $20. That's including shipping and everything. $20, you know. So you get the adapter. I match it to the camera. I'm sorry, to the lens. Let me show you how I put this on. All right, I actually put it on lock. All right, you match it to, you know, red dots there and there. You can see there. Can you see it there? Okay. I match them together. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Give it a twist until it locks, and you have a fully working lens for your camera. In my particular case, it happens to be the Fuji camera. I'm going to open it up, and this particular lens, what I like is it has where is it? An aperture ring. Okay, let me turn it. Okay, here we go. Okay, yep. Okay. Okay. All right, it has an aperture ring, as you can see right there. All right, and what does that aperture ring do? Here's what it does. Okay, you see it right there. it'll open you see how it opens it and how it closes, okay? So all of this, the whole lens becomes a manual lens, but that's a good thing. All right, that's a good thing because it gives us the ability to have more control, okay, of what we're trying to produce, and I love it. I really do love it a lot, okay. And and this particular lens here, I forgot to show you one thing that's super nice about these lenses, all right, is this particular lens that you see here. Look at this, it has a built-in hood, okay, you see that? Okay, it has a built-in hood, all right, see that? Built-in hood, all right. So it's a good choice, it really is, all right. And I recommend them, all right, and that way you don't have to break an arm and a leg to be able to afford some of this wonderful stuff that's available out there. Anyways, this is Charles Richard. Let me show you. I also got another lens. Excuse me, the one that I'm using here on this camera, and I kind of want to show you what some people say. Oh, these Fujifilm cameras, they are. Excuse me, they're no good when it comes to focusing, because they're terrible. And I gotta tell you, I don't believe that, okay? I really don't believe that, all right? Because sometimes what you hear on YouTube, all right, is over the border, if you want to say it, over the line, okay? It's, how can I put it to you this way where I don't really insult anybody, No camera, I don't care if it's a $100,000 camera or if it is a $20 camera, no camera is going to be 100% perfect, right? The thing about the cameras is that you've got to know the weaknesses that it has and the strengths that it has, and so when you get to know your equipment, you become better prepared, if I want to say that, better prepared, better apt, to know how your tool is going to respond, and therefore, because you are prepared, you will adjust, okay, to how your camera will behave, and then you will behave in such a way that it will allow you to correct the problem and the scenario. All right, so with that said, a perfect, very reasonable, because I like the colors that it produces, okay. None of this that you see here has been altered in colors, okay, or in any shape, way, or form, all right. So the only thing I did in this particular video that I'm going to show you was actually add the titles to it on the bottom, so that you can see what it is that I'm filming with. And I filmed it with the Fujifilm, the X-T2, all right. I filmed it with the X-T2 together with the XC 16 to 50 millimeter, all right, 16, I'd say it again, 16 to 50 millimeter, 3.5 to 5.6 with optical image stabilization. And a setup like this, it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of power, especially if you're just going to use it, to film your vacation, to photograph your vacation. You're not doing cinematography stuff. You're not creating YouTube videos. You just want a simple camera that's going to work for you, that's going to shoot video, that's going to look really nice. This is a perfect example. Let me show you. Let me not say anything else. Let me show you what this camera can do. Okay, we're looking at a very perfect example. I did a very quick recording, and what you're seeing here is actually the Fujifilm X-T2 with a XC 16 millimeter to 50 millimeter f 3.5 to 5.6. Now, I kind of, recorded this here at the Universal Studios Dr. Seuss track, and I do have to mention a couple of things. The first thing that I want to say is that Dr. Seuss track is a very, very old ride, and so therefore you're gonna see a little bit of, kind of like a jitter, and shake, but it's not the lens and it's not the optical image stabilization. What it is actually the track has sections of the track which actually, gives a very, very quick jolt, and that's why you see the shakes the way that you see them. Now, with that said, you are looking at the lens. Okay, I chose this lens, and I'm actually giving kind of like it's not really a review, but kind of you folks an idea of what it looks like with this really very inexpensive lens. Now, this is an older lens. Okay, they've got the new lens, which is the 15 to 45 millimeter, which is a little bit better. Now, the optical image stabilization of the new lens is not better than the one that is the older lens. What is better on the new lens is the actual continuous focusing. It actually is a little bit quicker to focus, and you will see towards the end of the video that I lose focus just a little bit, and it really, catches on, really quick, and that is because it's a little bit slower to focus, specifically when I'm coming out from when I'm changing from a very, very well lit place, which is being lit by the sunlight, and I'm going inside like I'm doing right up as I come in here, right here, and it kind of loses its focus just for a second or two, and it gets the focus really quickly right away. All right, so you can see it right there, and it grabs the focus right away. This is, folks, this is a really good solution, all right, to a lens so that you can use, for a very quick and easy setup. Okay, well, that's just, very simple. It's a pretty simple video. Okay, you've seen a very simple setup. Now, these cameras, we've got to remember that this particular camera, the XT2 camera, was a, $1,700, camera, a few years ago when it first came out. All right, now, you can pick this camera, for around $600. Sometimes you'll find it, $500. But if you want to pick one up that is in really, really, really good condition, you're going to pay around $600 for it, right? So that's the first thing. The lens, the lens is only like $160. Okay, this particular lens, and it gives you the ability to, zoom in and zoom out. Which kind of makes it nice, okay, because, it's kind of like a bag of prime lenses, okay, so, if you need to take a shot, a little bit closer, okay, like I'm doing right now, I'm using it right now to live stream, okay, see, if I need to zoom in, I can zoom in, and if I need to zoom out, I can zoom out, it has that ability, all right, and, which gives you the flexibility to be able to do more with it, now, is it the best lens there is out there? No, but it's good enough. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say to you folks. Okay, it's good enough. All right, so you don't have to spend $1,000. Okay, for a camera. All right, the lens has optical image stabilization, so you're not going to see a whole bunch of jitters because the lens has optical image stabilization, and that's what makes it so nice and so wonderful. Now let's talk about something else. All right, let me see if I can go up here and kind of set this up. Actually, let me see if I can give me just a second. I want to actually take all these things out, okay, all these photos that we actually were shooting, because I want to make sure that we got this, okay, and we got this, all right, and we want to make sure that we have this here. All right, so let's talk about this here. All right, and let me see if I can bring this. I don't know where I'm at right here. Maybe this. Okay, no, I don't want that one. I want this one. Okay, I don't want that one. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's the one I want. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Universal Studios. All right, Universal Studios, is doing a lot of things right now. Right now, it's really, really safe. Okay, to go to Universal Studios, but I gotta give you a heads up, guys. All right, I want to really and honestly give you a heads up. If you are in Europe or you are in a lot of these other countries, or even if you're local. Okay, even if you're local, because still a lot of the borders are still closed. Okay, and we need to understand that a lot of the borders are closed because of the COVID-19. Well, some of the things that are in Universal Studios, like for example, the Poseidon Fury. Let's talk about the Poseidon Fury. The Poseidon Fury right now is closed, and the reason that it is closed is not, they have not said that they are going to close the Poseidon Fury, permanently. The Poseidon Fury is closed because it is not a ride. Okay, it is actually a walk-up type of an attraction, and the way that the show is presented, it is presented where there is really, really very hard to do any sort of social distancing. All right, people are not sitting down, they are standing up. All right, so to avoid the and to kind of try to not complicate things, they closed it down, but you still have the characters to come out and they do their thing, and you can see it on my Facebook pages, that you'll see a couple of characters come out, and they are going to be reopening it, but here's the thing that you all have to remember. Okay, right now the COVID-19, okay, is actually beginning to flourish again. Okay, it's beginning to get up there in numbers. Okay, number one. And number two, which is even worse, is now we are going to have a President Biden, all right, that most likely will close everything down. All right, because that is his attitude. Okay, that is the way that he is. All right, and so expect everything to close back down again, because we have a president, an elect president, okay, Biden. All right, that's just the way he is going to act. So that said, who knows when it is that they are going to open the Poseidon Adventure. Sinbad has been closed for 2.5 years, all right, but it is now a U-Rest. You can go inside there. If you're wearing a mask, you can take your mask off, you can relax. It's pretty much a stadium, just like there's a lot of other places inside the Universal Studios, as well as islands of adventure, that you can go in and take your mask off and get some fresh air and that sort of stuff. The parks are running apparently, okay, at around 25%. How much more they're going to open? They might open it, quite a bit until this guy Biden takes over, and then he decides to close it all down. We don't know that, all right, because everything is pretty much right now up in the air. If you are making plans to come down to Orlando, to come to any of the parks, you need to understand that everything is changing very quickly, specifically, all right, because we have a new president, okay, a president-elect that, in my opinion, is most likely, all right, going to close everything down. All right, so with that said, just be aware of that. Please be aware of that. I don't want you folks to go out making all these wonderful plans, pay for all these things up front, and then all of a sudden, boop, you can't get anywhere, you can't go anywhere, okay, because everything has changed. All right, so anyways, I want to thank you, everybody. This is Charles Richard, and thank you so much, okay, for joining us today. And if you want to see more videos, please, subscribe or follow us on Facebook, so that you can be notified when we come up, live on the air. Again, this is Charles Richard. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time and allowing me to kind of show you a few things that might help you become a better content creator, or even, be able to make a decision that's going to save you some money. All right, and that might work for you. Okay, remember, you as the creator, you have to make that decision if it's good enough for you to use. All right, but at least I'm able to show you what it can do, and then now you have a better idea of whether what I have showed you will work for you. I will never tell you that this is the best thing for you, and I will never tell you this is the worst thing for you, because you as a creator are the artist, and only you can decide what will work for you. This is Charles Richard. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, thank you once again.